I was born in New Bern. I came to the mountains my first time in 1961. I was just over 3 years old. And we came to Beech Mountain, but there was nothing up here except I remember a little bit about this trip. And what is now what we call Beech Mountain Community, or Old Beech Mountain is what a lot of folks like to call it. But I'm confident that's where I came. I just remember coming to an old hunting lodge with my granddaddy and spending just one night. And then the next day coming back. But I remember the dirt roads up here and looking out the window of his old Dodge pickup truck and just thinking about how cool it was and how awful hot and humidity and mosquitoes back in New Bern and hurricanes. And I was just thought about how pleasant it was here. And then 2 years later, I came here with my mother and my sister with a little camper that my granddaddy had built in his factory. And we camped up here for a week. And went to Grandfather Mountain, like most tourists do. And my mother had an old black, we didn't have color cameras back then, had an old black and white little camera. And taking lots of pictures. And there's a picture of my sister and I at Split Rock. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But just want you to think about Split Rock. Everybody knows that rock going up to Grandfather Mountain. My wife and I got our start on Grandfather Mountain October 13th of 1979. She was at Lenore Ryan College, and I was in Virginia Beach. And I came up here in my little truck, and I picked her up. And she didn't know what was about to happen that day. And we went up to Grandfather Mountain. And that's where I proposed to her. And I promised her one day we would live here because we both love the mountains. And we actually started looking the very next year. I was still in the Navy. We got married March 2nd of 1980. And we would come up here for 30 days every October camping. And we looked at land and we looked at houses and we dreamed, thinking about what we could maybe have one day together up here. And it wasn't until October of 17 that we found a home that we could afford and love.